You know what's crazy? People are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing, what Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know, I'm gonna stay in my lane, I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody fucking with me. If I go on vacation, my fault.
It all began when Floyd Mayweather, the undefeated boxing legend whose career was defined by both his prowess in the ring and his carefully curated public persona, found himself compelled to issue a stark warning. Known for his flair both inside and outside the ring, Floyd had always been a man who commanded respect and demanded that people stay in their own lanes. But this time, the warning wasn't aimed at a rival fighter or a petty critic. It was aimed at Charleston White, a controversial figure whose outspoken commentary had the potential to upset the delicate balance between some of the most influential characters in this intricate web of alliances.
You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. Either for you to go Rick Ross, that's a slap in the face.
Floyd's message was unmistakable. If anyone dared interfere or step out of line in the unfolding drama that now involved the infamous Big Meech, his son Lil Meech, and rapper 50 Cent, then Floyd would not hesitate to act. With the precision of a fighter in his prime, Floyd made it clear that any attempts to cross the line would be met with swift consequences. His words echoed through the digital corridors of social media and beyond, signaling to all those involved that he was not a man to be trifled with. Meanwhile, Charleston White, never one to be cowed by intimidation, continued to make his opinions known. A man who thrived on controversy and unfiltered commentary, Charleston had recently stepped into the fray, offering his take on the Big Meech saga. With a fearless and unapologetic tone, he criticized the various narratives swirling around Big Meech, a once powerful drug kingpin from Detroit whose reputation had been tainted by years behind bars and a subsequent stint in the notorious BMF series.
Let this be a perfect example on you gotta be very careful on who you bring in and who you put on. That's little Meech right there. And if you don't know, he's the son of Big Meech. And if you don't know who that is, well, Big Meech was one of the biggest drug dealers in Detroit, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, long story short, he went in jail. He came out of jail and he started linking up with 50 Cent's opps. Now, bear in mind, 50 Cent made BMF and put little Meech on BMF. Without any acting.
Charleston questioned the validity of claims that Big Meech was a snitch, urging his audience to dig deeper into court records and the available paperwork. His stance was clear. There was no solid evidence to support the notion that Big Meech had ever betrayed his associates, and his dismissive attitude towards those accusations only added fuel to an already raging fire. This volatile mix of celebrity, controversy, and street-level intrigue was further complicated by the long-standing relationship between 50 Cent and Big Meech's son. Years before the current drama, 50 Cent had taken the young Lil Meech under his wing.
Do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. So if you go do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. That's why you hadn't seen no paperwork. It's all hearsay. Somebody saying he told, or somebody saying he used Tammy Cowan's to set up Cuffy. Well, when you do your research and you look at the court documents that's on Big Meech, you see that Tammy Cowans took the stand and said that she did this on her own accord without Big Meech's knowledge.
He had not only recognized the potential in a man who was trying to redefine himself after his father's criminal past, but he had also invested considerable time, money, and effort to ensure that Lil Meech could find a new path in life. From paying for acting classes to facilitating opportunities that would ultimately make him a millionaire, 50 Cent's influence had been nothing short of transformative. Yet as with many alliances forged in the crucible of street life and celebrity, gratitude had slowly soured into resentment. The betrayal came in subtle yet painful ways. While 50 Cent had once been a guardian and a father figure to Lil Meech, The dramatic realignment of loyalties left him feeling deeply betrayed.
Looking at it from 50 position. I go get your son. And at the time when I meet your son, he's not making the best decisions in life. You know, they say he was strung out on them perks. And they like to pop them perks. 50 take him somewhat, I wouldn't say clean him up, but spend 2 years in acting classes that 50 paid for. It was hard finding somebody to play the role of Big Meech, so we picked your son. 50, according to 50, he's put over $5 million into the pockets of Lil Meech and the family's, you know, financial, over $5 million. He's helped them make. Nigga blew your son up, and we bring you back to life. Prior to the BMF series, Big Meech was buried alive. Wasn't nobody saying his name. Jeezy wasn't really shouting him out no more. He was buried alive. So 50 bring life back to him, put his son in a position, turn his son into a millionaire, and he actually turned out to be a pretty good actor. You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. For you to go fuck Rick Ross, that's a slap in the face.
Reports surfaced that Big Meech, eager for a financial boost upon his release from prison, had made a secretive deal with none other than Rick Ross, a longtime rival of 50 Cent. This covert collaboration, designed to secure funds for Big Meech's ventures, was perceived by 50 Cent as a betrayal not only to himself, but also to the unwritten code of loyalty that had long governed their interactions. The fallout was immediate and dramatic, with 50 Cent publicly decrying the move and labeling Big Meech's actions as nothing short of a personal affront. In the midst of this turmoil, the public square became a stage for personal barbs and public challenges. Insults flew as fast as any punch, and even the language of pop culture entered the arena in unexpected ways. One of the more bizarre moments in this narrative came when 50 Cent issued an unusual challenge to Floyd Mayweather, a challenge that involved reading a full page of a Harry Potter book. In a move that seemed to blend the absurd with the symbolic, 50 Cent promised to donate a staggering $750,000 to a charity of Floyd's choice if he could complete the reading challenge. This, of course, was not a genuine invitation for a literary contest, but rather a provocative jab, a way to underscore 50 Cent's belief that Floyd's intellectual credentials were, in his eyes, questionable. Floyd's response, however, was equally emblematic of his persona. He quickly retorted by showcasing his financial might, posting evidence of multi-million-dollar checks that underscored his independence and power, and making it abundantly clear that he was far from willing to stoop to such provocations. Yet the narrative did not stop there. The saga of these intertwined lives was punctuated by the involvement of other figures who had long been part of this complex dance of power and influence. Rick Ross, known both for his commanding presence in the rap world and his controversial bop persona as a businessman with street credibility, emerged as another significant player. Rick Ross's ties with Big Meech and the subsequent fallout from his association with him added another layer of complexity to the story. When Big Meech collaborated with Rick Ross to secure funds after his release, it was seen as a deliberate move to sidestep 50 Cent, a betrayal that resonated deeply with the latter. This perceived treachery prompted 50 Cent to take further publics, actions that only deepened the divide between him and his erstwhile allies. Social media became the battleground for these grievances, with each party taking every opportunity to remind the public of their respective claims to honor, loyalty, and respect. As the drama unfolded, it became clear that the public feud was not simply about money or business arrangements. It was a battle over identity, reputation, and the very essence of what it meant to be loyal in a world where trust was a rare commodity. For 50 Cent, who had built his career on the back of street smarts and a relentless drive to overcome betrayal, the situation was deeply personal. His past support for Lil Meech had been an act of genuine kindness and mentorship, and to see that loyalty repaid with what he considered treachery was a bitter pill to swallow. Every action, every tweet, every public statement was laden with the weight of history and the scars of past betrayals. Floyd Mayweather, too, was not a mere bystander in this unfolding drama. Once considered almost inseparable from 50 Cent, having once appeared together on magazine covers and shared the limelight in joint ventures, their relationship had deteriorated dramatically over the years. The rift deepened significantly after a series of miscommunications and perceived slights following Floyd's legal troubles and incarceration. When Floyd found himself entangled in personal and professional difficulties, 50 Cent had stepped in, attempting to help manage Floyd's business affairs and even investing his own money into restructuring Floyd's promotional companies. Yet when Floyd eventually emerged from his legal battles, he refused to acknowledge the support 50 Cent had provided, and instead began a smear campaign that painted 50 as an opportunist looking to capitalize on his troubles. This historical betrayal further compounded the already volatile situation, with both men now locked in a public feud that spanned not only personal insults, but also business interests and legacies. Floyd's aggressive stance, declaring that he would crush anyone that stands in his way, was not just about protecting his own interests, but also about reasserting his dominance in a world that had once celebrated his invincibility. His alleged involvement in orchestrating moves to have Charleston White arrested only added to the intrigue, suggesting that behind the glossy veneer of celebrity and success lay a network of machinations designed to settle scores and eliminate threats. Amidst all this, Charleston White's role was particularly fascinating. As an outspoken critic who had never shied away from controversial opinions, Charleston had positioned himself as a truth-teller in a world rife with half-truths and calculated narratives. His interviews, delivered with a blend of raw emotion and streetwise insight, painted a picture of a man who was unafraid to challenge the established order. When he questioned the veracity of claims regarding Big Meech's alleged snitching, he did so not out of a desire to incite further conflict, but rather to demand accountability and clarity from those who wielded power over the narrative. His insistence that people do their research and consult the actual court documents underscored his commitment to unearthing the truth, no matter how inconvenient it might be for the powerful figures involved. The drama was further inflamed by the public display of alliances that had once been taken for granted. Photos and videos began to surface, capturing moments of camaraderie between Lil Meech, Big Meech, Floyd Mayweather, and even Rick Ross. These images, shared widely on social media, were laden with symbolic meaning. In one instance, Lil Meech posted a series of photos taken at a Lucky Strike bowling alley in Miami, captioning one of them "Real Power," a move that many interpreted as a direct challenge to 50 Cent. Another video showed Lil Meech and Floyd enjoying a night out courtside at a Lakers game, an act that seemed to flaunt their new alliance and, implicitly, to send a message to 50 Cent that the old guard had been replaced. Yet beneath the flash of expensive nightclubs and the bravado of public challenges lay the reality of financial and personal betrayal. 50 Cent's narrative was built on the premise that loyalty should never be compromised. He recalled with bitterness how he had once stepped in to rescue Lil Meech, paying for his education, his rehabilitation, and even helping him build a career. To see Lil Meech now consorting with old enemies, and to witness Big Meech's blatant disregard for the sacrifices that had been made on his behalf, was, in 50 Cent's eyes, an unforgivable betrayal. It wasn't just about the money, it was about the very principles that had once bonded these men together. In a series of explosive social media posts, 50 Cent unleashed a barrage of criticisms, accusing Big Meech and his son of throwing away the trust and loyalty that had been so painstakingly built over the years. As the narrative reached its climax, every word and every public appearance became part of a larger story. A story of power, pride, and the perilous consequences of crossing the wrong person. Floyd Mayweather, with his cool demeanor and unyielding resolve, seemed determined to restore order by any means necessary. His alleged behind-the-scenes efforts to have Charleston White arrested were seen as the ultimate act of retribution, a final move to silence a voice that threatened to upset the fragile balance of power. Whether or not these allegations would hold up under scrutiny was a matter of speculation, but they underscored the dangerous stakes of this public feud. In this maelstrom of competing interests and deep-seated resentments, the lines between friend and foe had become irreparably blurred. What began as a personal conflict over business dealings and loyalty had evolved into a sprawling drama that encompassed not only the personal lives of those involved, but also the very image and legacy they had built over decades. Each public challenge, each social media post, and each strategic alliance was a move in a high-stakes game where the cost of losing was measured not just in dollars, but in reputation and honor. Ultimately, the story of Floyd Mayweather, 50 Cent, Big Meech, Lil Meech, and Charleston White is a modern epic of urban life, a narrative that intertwines the gritty realities of street culture with the glittering facade of celebrity. It is a story about the dangers of misplaced loyalty, the destructive power of betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of power in a world where every public move is scrutinized and every alliance is temporary. As viewers and onlookers, we are left to wonder, in this battle of egos and ambitions, who will emerge victorious? Will Floyd's calculated maneuvers secure his dominance, or will 50 Cent's insistence on loyalty and honor ultimately prevail? And where do figures like Charleston White fit into this sprawling tapestry of conflict and intrigue? For now, the only certainty is that in the unpredictable world of urban celebrity, the drama is far from over. With alliances constantly shifting and new challenges emerging at every turn, each day brings with it the promise of another explosive chapter in this ongoing saga. A saga that reminds us that in the realm of power and respect, there are no second chances, and every move is a gamble with high stakes.